Hey everyone, and welcome. So, listen up. If you're an online service provider sitting outside of India, but your customers are inside India, then you've absolutely come to the right place. Today, we're going to break down a really specific but super important tax return, Form GSTR-5A. Let's jump right in. Okay, so right off the bat, let's make sure this is for you. Does your business sell things like, streaming services, cloud storage, maybe some e-learning courses, or even online games? And are your customers based in India, even though you're not? If you're not in your head right now, then yeah, stick around. This is going to be crucial for you. So all those services we just listed, they actually have a fancy government name. They fall under something called OIAR. It's a bit of a mouthful, right? It stands for Online Information and Database Access or Retrieval. Basically, it's the official term for all those automated digital services. And here's the kicker. If you're an OIDAR provider, you have one non-negotiable task every single month, and that is filing Form GSTR-5A. All right, so what is this Form GSTR-5A all about? Let's break down the fundamental rules you absolutely need to know. Okay, first thing to know is that GSTR-5A runs like clockwork. It's on a super strict monthly cycle. Let's say you provide services in April. Well, you have until the 20th of the next month, so May 20th, to get your return filed. And trust me, that date is set in stone. It's not a suggestion. And yeah, that rule is absolute. I get this question all the time. But what if I had 0 sales this month? Doesn't matter. You still have to file. It makes no difference if you made a ton of money or absolutely nothing. Filing GSTR-5A is mandatory every single month. If you had no business activity, you just file what they call a nil return. Simple as that. Okay, so now we know the what and the when. Let's get into the how. We're going to walk through the practical steps of actually getting this done. All right, before you even dream of filing, you need a quick pre-flight check. There are 3 things you absolutely must have. First, you've got to be officially registered as an OIDAR service provider. When you do that, you get your GSTN. That's your special tax ID number. And of course, you need your username and password for the GST portal. Seriously, without these 3 things, you're not even in the game. Okay, you're in. Now, finding the form is actually pretty easy. You're just going to navigate over to Services, then click on Returns, and from there, you'll hit the Returns dashboard. Think of this dashboard as your mission control. It's where all the action happens for your filings. Now, once you're in, you'll see the form itself. It can look a little intimidating because it's broken down into all these tables. But don't worry, each one has a specific job. Let's decode them so you know exactly what goes where. So, Table 5. This is probably going to be your main one. It's where you report all your sales to regular people in India, your B2C sales. So if you sold an online movie subscription to a student in Mumbai, for instance, that goes right here. This table is for all your sales to customers who aren't registered for GST. Oops, made a mistake in a previous return? Hey, it happens to the best of us. That's what Table 5A is for. It's basically your oops button. So let's say last month you reported a sale as $100 when it should have been $150. You'd come to this table in your current month's return to fix that mistake. Okay, but what about sales to other businesses? Your B2B clients. Well, any service you sell to a GST-registered company in India goes into Table 5B. Now, this one's a little different. It works on something called the Reverse Charge Mechanism, or RCM. All that really means is that you don't pay the tax on that sale. The Indian company you sold to pays it on their end. Your job is just to report the sale here. Pretty neat, right? And the rest of the form follows that same kind of logic. You've got Table 5C, which is just for correcting any past B2B sales. Then there are a couple of really specific ones, 5D and 5E, just for the online money gaming world. And lastly, there's Table 6. That's kind of a catch-all for declaring any other liabilities, like if you owe interest on a late payment or something like that. Okay, let's get to the really critical stuff, the rules and payments. These are the non-negotiables you just can't ignore. Okay, listen up because this is a big one. Can you claim input tax credit, or ITC? The answer is a hard no. As a non-resident OIDR provider, you're out of the ITC game. The thinking is, since your business isn't physically in India, you're not part of their internal tax system, so you just calculate the tax on what you sold, and that's it. No deductions. And that leads directly to this next point. Since there's no ITC for you, there's also no electronic credit ledger. It just doesn't exist for you. Instead, every single payment you make has to come from your electronic cash ledger. It's pretty much a digital wallet. You put money in, and then you pay your taxes from it. Here's another rule you can't bend. You have to file in order. The portal will not let you file for, say, April if you haven't filed for March yet. You've got to clear the backlog first. It's a strict one after the other system. And this might be the most important payment rule of all. You know that file button on the portal? It will literally be grayed out. You can't click it until you have paid every last penny of your tax for that month. There's no file now, pay later option. You have to pay up in full before you can file. Okay, after all those strict rules, I've actually got a piece of surprising good news for you. Right now, the late fee for filing GSTR-5A is 0. Yep, nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, you should always file on time to avoid interest and other headaches, but as of now, there's no extra penalty just for being late with the form itself. Phew, that was a lot. So let's wrap this up with your final checklist. We'll go over the key takeaways and what you can expect right after you submit. So let's recap the absolute must-knows. 1. GSTR-5A is mandatory if you're an OIDAR provider. 2. The deadline is always the 20th of the next month. 3. Even with zero business, you still have to file a nil return. 4. A big one, no input tax credit for you. And 5. For now, there's no late fee. Got it? So what happens the second you hit file? Well, the system instantly sends you an ARN, which is just an acknowledgement reference number. Think of it as your digital receipt. A few minutes after that, an email will pop into your inbox, and an SMS will go to the authorized signatory's phone. And boom, you're officially done. But one last piece of advice from me to you. Please remember this. Once you file this return, it is locked in. You can't undo it. You can't reset it. Before you submit, there's an option to download a PDF preview of the form. Use it. Always take a moment to look it over one last time. It can save you a world of trouble. And that's a wrap. Look, the process is pretty straightforward, but the rules are definitely strict. And that deadline, it comes around every single month without fail. When you're running a global business, you've got to nail the local compliance. And if you're selling digital services in India, GSTR-5A is the name of the game. So the real question is your business ready? Because the 20th is always coming.